Education Talk Show. I'm your host, Sanaya Simone, and today we have a very, very special guest named Reagan, who actually plays golf. Can you introduce yourself to our audience and tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Reagan Fields. I'm 15 years old. I go to Manville High School and I graduate in the year 2026, and I've been playing golf since I was 7 years old.
So how did you get started playing golf? I know you said 7 years old, but that's still kind of early.
I went to this organization called First Tee, and basically you just get introduced to the game. You really don't like play on the course, but you just learn about golf and you just get introduced to the game, so you kind of like know what you're doing.
So who kind of advised, like how did you know that this is that you wanted to start playing golf? Like what was, I guess, the fascination with golf and not any other sport?
Well, my mom, she had her job, and there was like her coworker, and his daughter went through the First Tee program, I think, and they were like, oh yeah, if you're looking for girls sports for your daughter, you should try First Tee, and that's what we tried, and that's kind of just what stuck.
So how did that experience like happen for you? How was that experience?
I mean, it wasn't too crazy because I tried like soccer and swimming, but it was just like more like trying a new sport. It wasn't like, oh, this is what's gonna stick. It was just trying something new.
So how did you feel when you first tried it? I know sometimes when my mom advises things for me to do, I'm not always the most, I guess, enthused. Sometimes our moms think that they know what we like, but sometimes they don't. So it seems like your mom kind of knew. So how did you feel?
Oh, it wasn't a choice. It was you're going, and that's what's happening.
Yep, sounds like my mom. Okay, so do you play competitively or
yes, competitively with STPGA, and then this is kind of like my fun part. Like I'll record, talk to the girls, like really competitive with like tournaments and trying to play college golf, I guess.
So can you explain some of the things that you do here?
Okay, so here I'm basically going to be recording the girls because we're trying to promote social media. So I'm going to be recording them, talking to them, kind of helping out with like passing out the bags and all that.
So I guess I'm trying to ask, like, what is the value in you doing that here?
Well, I mean, when I started this, like all of them, this was not a thing. Mm-hmm. Or maybe it was, but it wasn't bold. It wasn't this big. So when I started, it was kind of boring. Like it was very boring. I hated going. Didn't want to go. But for them, they're all the same age. You know, they have friends. So it's, ooh, we're going to golf, let's go. But for me, it was so dreadful. It was boring. So them having this group is like really fun, watching them like growing relationships, talking to one another.
So you kind of want to help them have the experience that you kind of like. I know you enjoy playing golf, but if you had this experience, you probably would have enjoyed it a little bit more.
Right.
Yeah, I feel the same way when it comes to my little sister and things that she's doing. I'm like, oh my God, like I wish they had this when I was starting this. So since golf is a male-dominated field, have you faced any challenges because of this?
No.
No?
Not really. I mean, you really don't play against the boys. It's kind of the girls group and the boys group, but it still is competition, just not with the men.
Well, can you explain that part a little bit, because I didn't know that.
Well, with the girls, it's you're not going to be friends with everyone, like school. You're not going to be friends with all the girls, and if you do something that's better than them, they're not going to want to be your friend. So them growing these relationships while they're young is so important, because they can truly trust that I was friends with her when I was 7, so I can trust her versus just making a friendship.
Right.
So there can be some petty things going on, and that's where more of the competition comes. It's not just you playing golf, it's the way that you come off to them. Like you still required to say if they hit a good shot, and if you don't, it can start some more petty little arguments. So just being mindful of like what you're doing, what you're saying, that's what really is like the challenge with playing with girls.
Yeah, I'm actually on the dance team at my school, and I kind of witnessed a lot of that, especially in high school. Like, I guess the relationships that you have could kind of fade because of your talent or because of your skill, and just making sure you strengthen those relationships early on, because like you're supposed to have each other's back, you know, no matter how petty stuff can get. So that's a good life lesson. So what do you think is the most difficult part of the game?
I really don't think that golf is more about skill or physical stuff. I really think it's your mind. Because you can have a great attitude, but you can't play golf, but you'll still enjoy yourself. I feel like you can have a bad attitude, but have all the skill, all the talent, and it'll still be hard because you can't play golf with a bad attitude. So I think that more of like internal would be your mind, like having a strong mind, and then physical, for me, it's my tee shot because I have a lot of power and I lack control. So I'll be able to hit the ball like 200 yards and then it'll be like in the rough, like the tall grass, versus hitting it like 175 and having it in the center in a better position.
You did a good job at explaining that because I was like, what? A tee shot? Okay. Who is some of your biggest inspiration?
Well, definitely Miss Milana, because coming out here and meeting her, that was like a big deal. Seeing someone who was alone, like growing up playing golf, and I was alone until I came over here. But just seeing her and seeing that she still made it through, it just gives like validation that you can be here, you can do this, you can make it through.
So I read in your bio the level of trainings. Can you explain those?
Level of trainings. Like trainings? Like what do you mean?
Like it was different layers of golf, like I don't know how to explain it. I
Like
don't know.
beginner.
I think so. I don't know.
Level of training.
Okay, we can skip that then. How do you see golf fitting into your future?
Well, I definitely think that like as I grow up, I'll still be playing golf, but depending on if it's competitive or if it's just for fun, I'll just have to see what happens.
And do you have any advice for any golf players or any young girl golf players?
I definitely think that you should stick it through, because when I started, the first few years were just so like boring. And I think if you just keep going, you'll see your progression, you'll see that you're getting better, and that you're just not here wasting your time. I think it's really crucial to like stick it through.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me today, and we'll be right back with the T Nation Talk Show.